Hi there. So, I am so excited today, and I'll tell you why. For today's episode, we're going to be talking about the 30-day weight loss challenge. It's based on what I've been doing over the last 3 months that has caused me to lose a lot of weight. I'm over 50 pounds now. I'm literally a 51, 52 pound weight loss since I started 12 months ago. But before we go any further into this, a little bit of a legal disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. I want you to get advice from your doctor before you start any kind of nutritional workout program, anything that you hear me talk about. It's really just my life's experience, and hopefully it affects you in a positive way. So that was it for the disclaimer. I also feel comfortable to be at a place where I believe that what I can share with you can have a major impact if you're willing to do the work. It's going to require a lot of work, I assure you, but I've come this far in the road to realize that nothing worthwhile happens without doing a ton of work, and a lot of times the work happens within us, so I want to encourage you to stay with it. I'm also happy to meet you where you're at, so it doesn't mean that, it's only my way. This is really what I'm doing through my lens. But if you have questions for me and you put them in the channel, I'm going to do my very best to get back to you and give you as many of the resources that I have, make them available to you, and share as much as I can with you based on this journey that I've been on. I'm literally only about halfway through my weight loss journey. For me to reach reasonable BMI, I have to lose right around or a little over 100 pounds total from where I started. The scale said 268 when I was brave enough to weigh myself. It was probably closer to 280, 275, 280 when I started. But with that being said, I believe that it was a scare with high blood pressure that led me to a place where I felt like it was time to do something. I knew continuing to go to the doctor was going to lead me down a path of having to take medication to bring my blood pressure down, and I didn't want to do that. I also know that since I have another 50 plus pounds to go to get to a reasonable and healthy weight and BMI, there's going to be turbulence and challenges coming my way. This part has been relatively easy, and I hate to use the word easy because that comes loaded with all kinds of things that I've gone through and that have happened in this process. But I'm never surprised when things are a lot harder than I thought they were going to be. That doesn't surprise me anymore. I know the hard part is coming, and I'm bracing myself for it. So that's why I also thought this would be a good time to share with you where I'm at, and hopefully help you get started as soon as you want to get started. And if you feel compelled and motivated to get started, I just say, let's do it, let's go for it. This is the right time for you. If it's not the right time for you, then I would say just continue to listen to what I'm putting out there, and there is a day and a time where it will all line up for you. And hopefully it doesn't have to be a health scare or something like that, like it was for me. Hopefully it's something less dramatic or traumatic, but I just want to make sure that you just go when you know you're ready to go, because only we know when we're ready to get something going. Let's see. It takes a certain level of focus and grit to stay true to yourself in this program and for the 30-day challenge. So I want to tell you again that it's going to come with some internal turmoil, because I'm going to ask you to strip away some of these things that you may be addicted to, even though you may be afraid to use the word addiction. I want you to consider that we are by design addicted to eat certain foods that we can continue to keep going back to. And most of those foods, or all of those foods that we are usually addicted to, are calorie dense and have a nutritional deficit, and we're just programmed to come back after the food. So I'm going to ask you to make some changes that are going to be pretty significant, but I assure you and I promise you that at some point it will all turn and you will feel the wind behind your sails, and you're going to start coasting. And when you start coasting, that is a sense of freedom. Again, I promise you that you may have not ever felt before in the way that you're eating and what you're craving. You will crave things that are really, really good for you. So at this point, it's time to hit that subscribe button, hit us with a like, and also hit the little bell so we let you know when the next episode comes up. And I want you to sit back and enjoy episode 8, our 30-day weight loss challenge. Here we are, finally, my first challenge. I am so pumped. Let's do this. So basically, I've done 3 cycles of my own challenge. I want you to join me on my 4th one. I want you to join me in month 4.5 for me, and I want you to consider just getting started. So I'll give you some details and parameters. The first thing is we're going to start the challenge April 1st. Challenge starts April 1st. I'm going to encourage you to write some of these things down. Grab a pen and a piece of paper or take some electronic notes, but draft some parameters so you know clearly what the sort of the bumpers are, what you need to stay within to be successful in this challenge for the month of April. I also don't want you to build up the word challenge too much. Don't make it bigger than it is. It's just a way of being for 30 days. There's nothing challenging about it. It's just you're going to start becoming conscious about what you're putting in your body, and then at the end you're going to measure results, and that's going to be the most fun part for you. I assure you, I promise you, the amount of weight you can lose in 30 days is staggering. And it's not water weight, it's real weight. I've had the body scan to prove it, so I know I'm losing the right weight. I'm losing fat. I'm not giving up muscle. I'm literally, as I go, I'm building muscle because I've started to feel so good now that I'm back in the gym lifting weights. So let me not digress so much. So challenge starts Saturday, April 1st. Challenge ends Sunday, April 30th. Those are the days, starting and ending. This doesn't mean that for you, if you only have 10, 15, 20 pounds to lose, you might just do that in a month. For people like me, the challenge will continue till we hit that desired goal, which is the one prescribed to me by my doctor. It happens to be the True North Health Center that understands the way of eating that I'm going to talk to you about, and within those parameters, how you're supposed to eat to stay healthy while doing something like this. I recommend that you visit your doctor before doing anything that changes the way you're eating dramatically. So try to see your doctor first. I highly encourage that. It's nice to have some of those benchmarks. Blood pressure, get your blood pressure, get blood work done, and then it's really nice to, at the end of the 30 days, compare what just happened to you. It is staggering what will happen in your numbers. So really want to encourage you to do that. On day 1, on April 1st, I want you to weigh yourself. No clothes, just as we were built. 0 clothes, day 1. After your bowel movement, weigh yourself. So on day 30th, you're going to do the same thing. After you go to the bathroom, after you take care of your business, you weigh yourself on your birthday suit. And those are 2 things that I want you to keep top of mind, because it's exciting to know, and a little bit with some nervousness that some of us who are overweight have when we jump on the scale. Day 1 is scary. But I want you to just forget about the number. You just need to track something. So don't make the number the thing. What's going to happen at the end of the 30 days is going to just blow your mind. So I want you to do those things. So I'm going to do my very, very best to make you this promise. Every day for the 30 days, I'm going to post a couple of things for you. I'm going to post a motivational message and or a where I was in my journey during my first 30 days. So I'm going to give you an idea of some of the things that you can expect, some of the things that you might be going through physically or mentally in that part of the process, because I've been there and I'm doing it, and I'm doing this 4th cycle with you. This just happens to be your first cycle on this particular challenge that, again, I'm going to promise you is going to change your life. The only thing that this is going to do for you is change your life in a good way. So there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. So we're going to keep this super, super simple. It becomes a complex topic when we go deep into the weeds, but for the purpose of getting started and starting the challenge, I'm going to keep it so simple. So here are your no's for 30 days. I hate to make it sound negative, but these are the no's. These are the things that I want you to stay away from for 30 days. So first one is no sugar. I know some of you have done it before. You have stayed away from desserts for a certain period of time. That's a common thing. People know how bad sugar is for us. Sugar is cancer causing. It's been proven. The reports are in. Sugar causes cancer. So since we know that sugar is one that needs to come off your table. Number 2, oil. No oil should touch your lips for 30 days. No olive oil, no coconut oil, no peanut oil, no any kind of vegetable oil, because it's vegetable. Oil is off the table. Here's the big one for most people. No salt. Sodium. And here's the argument. People will go into right away, we need sodium to live. It's very little sodium that we need to live. We don't need the sodium that we're taking in to live. It raises our blood pressure, and for some of us, it raises it by a lot. Sodium is the catalyst with the combination of oil and sugar that keeps us in the pleasure trap of over-consuming the foods that we're consuming, especially processed foods. Here's one that's going to be big for a lot of people. No animal products. No meat, no fish, no sushi, no sushimi, no dairy, no cheese, no. And I keep saying no because this is going to change your life. I'm at a place right now where I don't even think about those things anymore, because what I'm eating and what I'm craving is the opposite of saturated calories per bite. I'm eating natural foods that per bite have very few calories and are very, very filling within my stomach. So I'm never ever hungry, and now I'm at a place where I'm just craving these natural, beautiful, bountiful foods that just help me get the results that I'm getting. The other one, no processed foods. So you're seeing a pattern here. You're seeing that I'm going towards a vegan lifestyle. Going towards a vegan lifestyle does not mean that Impossible Burgers are good for you. Impossible Burgers are garbage. I'm here to tell you. Be the first to tell you that. Don't kid yourself. I don't know if an Impossible Burger and a saturated fat burger from a cow has a lot, and I'd have to be a scientist to tell you the difference, and I am not, so I'm not even going to attempt to do that. But the bottom line, an Impossible Burger is so highly engineered and highly processed that the nutrients that are left behind are not good for you. We can teach you how to make an actual whole plant-based foods burger that would actually be amazing for you and not processed. We need to remove the word processed out of our nutritional system. We need to stop eating processed foods. And the last one, and this one's not very big for some people, this one's huge for others. And this one I'm going to recommend only for people like me who suffers from some level of anxiety, I'm going to ask you to remove caffeine from your life within the 30 days. Caffeine meaning sodas, Diet Cokes, those are processed foods, so those should be off the table anyways. But a cup of black coffee in somebody's system that happens to be like me, it can really affect what you do and think about for the rest of the day. I haven't had a single cup of coffee or any caffeine and green tea or black tea or anything like that that's supposed to be good for most people because I suffer from anxiety. I took caffeine out of my system and it's been a game changer. Coffee only takes 3-4 days to withdraw from, and all of a sudden you've replaced that with something that's better for you anyways, and it can change your life. So I'm going to say caffeine is an optional no, but for people that suffer from any level of anxiety or nervousness, I'm going to ask you to take coffee off the table. It will make your journey so much better. So I'm going to recap real quick for you so you can take these notes. No sugar, no oil, no salt, no animal products including dairy, no processed foods of any kind, and no caffeine for those who have any type of anxiety. So that's pretty simple when you think about it. Over the top, very simple. You can choose to go into it as deep as you need to. I'm also in the process, I'm going to keep feeding you resources and places that you can go to get recipes, to get information, to get pardon me, I'm not going to talk about law right now, to get studies on things that have been proven to be beneficial for us and also detrimental to us. So I'll keep sending you information and giving you channels that you can plug into to get some of the information and verify that what I am doing is super healthy and super good for you. So I'm also going to give you some tips and advice as for what to do going forward and starting this journey. First thing I would recommend you do is clean your kitchen. So clean your kitchen really means get rid of anything that shouldn't be there or that may be a trigger. I'm also going to ask you in that to be mindful of those around you. This is your journey and your journey only, unless somebody in your house or the person or people you live with are okay doing this with you. But if you're going to impose this on somebody, you're going to be met with a lot of resistance. And it's frankly unfair because it's not their journey, it's your journey. You have to take ownership. First thing that I would ask you to do is maybe remove things from a section of the refrigerator where you have your own section of the refrigerator. In the cabinets or the pantry, move things around to where a certain shelf is for you and your healthy items and the other shelves are for the other people. I'm also going to encourage you to grocery shop for yourself so you don't feel like people are sabotaging you because they don't understand what it's like to live SOS free. SOS meaning sugar, oil, or salt. People have the best intentions, but all of a sudden now they'll bring in something processed because it says that it's vegan or plant-based. Because it's vegan or plant-based, it doesn't mean that it is optimally healthy and good for you. The other thing I would ask you to do is clean your palate. I would ask you to start as soon as possible cutting out sugar, oil, salt, and caffeine if it qualifies for if it's something that you want to work on and you want to remove from your system, so you can feel a sense of calm that you probably haven't felt in a long time. I'm going to ask you to start as soon as possible to get a head start on cleaning your palate. April 1st is just right around the corner. The sooner you start this, the better your journey will be. The minute I knew I wanted to start this lifestyle, I literally stopped sugar, oil, and salt immediately. And then the following day, I stopped with my coffee. So it was about day 3 to day 7 where I got rid of most of my withdrawals. And the withdrawals for me came in the way of, punchy headaches, lack of energy, a little bit lethargic. And that was it for about day 3 was the hardest because it was the caffeine leaving my system. Day 6, 7, it was the sugar leaving my system. By day 8, I started to coast, people, and the coasting starts to feel really good. You want more of that, you stay with it. So you really have to break through. Day 3, I think, is the hardest. Day 7 is the second hardest. And then from there, you should start to feel like you're coasting. If you're not coasting, I'm going to tell you right now, it's more than likely because you're still consuming something that is in your system that's not letting you break free from the pleasure trap. Speaking of the pleasure trap, there is a book called The Pleasure Trap by Dr. Goldhammer and Dr. Doug Lisle. Highly recommend you read that book because most of us have found ourselves for years. If we've yo-yoed up and down with weight, which I have my entire life, it's been due to that pleasure trap, that dopamine hit that you get every time you eat the wrong foods. If you read that book, I think you'll understand why we do what we do and why the world around us is designed to keep us in it, because it keeps us over consuming the wrong foods. The other thing I want to recommend that you do is stock your kitchen as soon as possible with the right foods, with plenty of the foods that we're going to talk about that fall within those parameters of no sugar, no oil, no salt, all those things. I'm going to be posting a lot in the way of what I cook, what I eat. If you go to past episodes in my channel, you'll see that I show you what I eat in a day. I also show you meals that are really simple, under 30 minutes to prepare for dinner. And I'm going to continue to do that for you along the way, so you continue to get ideas. I'm also going to talk to you about some of the cooking books that I like. They're kind of hard to find at the bookstores, anything that's SOS free, but they're available, and I'll get you to those resources. The other thing is I'm going to recommend that you do, at the beginning, keep your activities light. I want you to focus more on nutrition and weight loss that occurs from what you put in your mouth and what you keep out of your mouth. I don't want you to focus too much until your body tells you when it's time to start exercising. You are, by week 2 to week 3, most of us start to feel a surge of energy that we probably had not felt in a long time. I'm going to ask you to listen to your body at that time and lean in. I've gone from a super sedentary couch potato that hasn't gone to the gym, that had not gone to the gym in a long time, to a guy that goes on at least 2 hilly 30-minute walks a day, 7 days a week without fail. I crave them. To 3 to 4 workouts at the gym per week, including weights and cardio, to some hiking. And in addition to that, I'm doing sauna 3 to 4 times a week for a minimum of 20 minutes per time. So I am feeling this burst of energy that I get to share with you right now only because of the way that I'm eating. The only reason I'm building a YouTube channel is come out of the way that I feel and the energy that I have to allow me to use that energy in a creative way so I can share my experience with you. It literally all comes out of living this way. So I want to encourage you to continue to consider doing this challenge with me, because I want you to get that. I want you to get there. And I know you can. So I'll go forward and say, here are some of the other parameters that I want to put in your head so you start to process all this information. When you start on day 1, I want you to only eat when you're hungry. That whole thing of you have to eat breakfast, that's the biggest load of malarkey I've ever heard. The body is designed to tell you when you're hungry, but not when you're hungry in your head or when you're hungry in your stomach. Listen to your body when you're hungry in your throat. When you're hungry in your throat, that's the true sign of hunger. When you feel hungry in your throat, it's time to eat. If you wake up in the morning and it's 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning and you're not hungry, don't eat. Allow your body that longer fasting period. It's already been proven that intermittent fasting or fasting is super beneficial for us. So eat only when you're hungry. Now, the other side of that coin is to stop eating by 7 o'clock at night. Stop eating 3 hours before you go to bed. Stop eating by 7 o'clock at night. Here's another thing that's going to change your life. Eat 1 large bowl of salad every single day. Please remember, salad is not a garnish, people. Salad should be the primary course. The American diet is designed so where in our plate, protein confused with animal protein, confused with vegetable protein. People think that animal protein needs to be the staple in the plate. We're told that the largest portion in our plate has to be the meat. The meat should be the garnish, not the salad. The salad needs to be huge and filling. A salad only has 100 calories per pound. And there are dressings out there. I'll tell you, Bragg's has a dressing with no sugar, oil, or salt that has 15 calories per serving that I can literally pour over my salad and it's totally fine. And my salads consist sometimes of between 12 and 18 items. I mean, my salads go deep. My salads are either spring mix romaine or a mix of spring mix and romaine and raw spinach, arugula. I eat literally between 1/2 and 3/4 of a pound of salad. And then I start with the tomatoes, the nuts. I like nuts and seeds. There's something that Dr. Joel Fuhrman refers to as G-bombs, that we should eat our G-bombs every single day. G-bombs stand for greens, onions, mushrooms. Hold on, I'm trying to think. G-bombs, greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds or nuts. Those are G-bombs. So that's a great acronym for you to hang on to. You can look up G-bombs online. It's something that I eat every single day. Onions have been proven to help you fight off cancer and cancerous cells. So consider eating G-bombs every single day. If you're trying to lose weight, keep nuts and seeds to a minimum. For now, I'm in weight loss mode, and I only have plateaued when I was consuming probably closer to a half a cup of nuts during the day, and I took that down to no nuts and 2 tablespoons of seeds per day. So I'm using hemp seeds and flax seeds in my salad or in my smoothies. But then that salad, I limit my avocado intake to about 1/4 to a half avocado a day. So I'm getting plenty of fat. I'm getting plenty of sodium through my veggies, celery. I'm getting plenty of protein. Stop getting confused with protein being only derived from meat. There is plenty of protein in your veggies. I also like to eat a warm or a hot vegetable every single day. I do mushroom sautés. I do broccoli stir fries. I do snap pea stir fries. I eat something hot every single day. But another thing that I do is almost every single day, I have 1 large, and sometimes it's the entire blender full of a smoothie. So sometimes I drink a whole liter of smoothie, and my smoothies are complex. I put in a whole head of romaine lettuce. I put in a cup of coconut water or just water or almond milk. I get the almond milk with the least amount of calories, which is 30 to 35 calories a cup. And from there, I build an amazing smoothie with a banana. I add a banana, an apple, frozen wild blueberries that they sell at Whole Foods. Trader Joe's has a super inexpensive frozen food section for your smoothies. I've even been known to throw in yesterday's salad into a smoothie. I don't waste food. I don't let food go to waste because I just blend it in a smoothie. Please concern yourself with the lack of fiber that you're taking in right now. Please, please, please stop concerning yourself with lack of protein. Doctors will tell you that they usually have never met a patient in the United States of America who is protein deficient. We can't be protein deficient with the way that we eat. You're not going to be protein deficient if you eat this way. It's literally impossible, because I'm going to ask you to eat more than you've ever eaten. So hunger is not going to be an issue. Water. Don't drown yourself on water. I'm not asking you to drink a gallon of water a day, especially while you're not working out and while you're in that phase of changing to this method of eating. So don't worry about water. If you're eating as many vegetables as I'm asking you to eat, hydration is not going to be an issue. Drink when you're thirsty. Just drink when you're thirsty. What I typically do is the minute I go in, I take a B12 every day, because that's the only vitamin that my doctor has said when you go vegan, you should do a B12 to make sure that you pick that up. That's the only thing that you might be deficient in. And if you're not getting sun, then take I think that's a vitamin D, but I get plenty of sun because I go outside every day. But those are the only two things that you would be deficient from if you go this way. So don't worry too much about water. The other thing that I hope you do is report as many things that are going well for you onto this channel. I want to hear about them. If you have questions, specific questions, put them in there. I again promise to do my very best to answer questions. The other thing is, I want you to write in a journal before you go to bed. Every night, write at least 3 things that you're grateful for. And that starts to get us into what I call PMA, positive mental attitude mode. And that's really important to stay giving yourself that continuously hit of dopamine that reaffirms that what you're doing is good. When you complete a day, go up to your partner and give your partner a high five and take that dopamine hit that you just had a great day. And anytime you do something good, or anytime that you eat something great and you nourish yourself this way, give somebody a high five, or my God, give yourself a high five. I just want to go over really quick what to expect when detoxing. So for caffeine, it takes 3 to 4 days to get that out of your system. For sugar, it's about 3 to 10 days to get sugar out of our systems. For salt, that's a longer one. That's about 3 to 4 weeks. And it also, like oil, it takes months to really flush that out of your system. For me, it was really right around the 2.5 month mark where I stopped thinking and dreaming about something salty. So it took that long. So there will be other challenges or other encouragements, and maybe we'll call these encouragements rather than challenges, to keep us moving forward to where you get to that place where there's winds behind your sails that just keeps you moving forward to. And I'm expecting that this is going to keep moving me forward for the rest of my life. I know I'll hit, bumpy roads. I love those commercials that say, potato chips, you can't just have one. I know I can't just have one, because 1 leads to 2, 2 leads to 3, 3 leads to 4. But I'm curious if you can get yourself to a place where you feel that this is worth doing, because it can totally change the outlook. So a smart nutritionist said, and I'll read this verbatim, once you mostly eliminate sugar and processed foods, it will be a few weeks before the cravings will subside, depending on the level of addiction. The most important thing is to replace the calories lost from sugar and processed foods with natural, whole foods. Your cravings won't go away if your body thinks you're starving just from a lack of calories. So you cannot stop consuming foods and let your brain think that you're starving it. It will grab onto everything. So please make sure that you eat when you're hungry, and you eat enough to make yourself feel satiated and make yourself full. This is the time where you can eat till you're full. You should never eat till you're full by eating highly calorically dense foods like processed foods, meats, dairy, cheese, and all those things. It's a trick, and it will always send us into taking in too many calories. So that's part of the issue. You have to eat. So here are things that I want you to look at, and channels that I want to encourage you to listen to before you start this on April 1st. Take as much of this information in as possible. I'm sure you'll get motivated. I'm sure you'll be pumped. Text me. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you're taking in. Let me know that you're ready to do this, because I believe you can. If I can do it, you can do it. So check this out. I'd love for you to read Eat for Life by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. As I said before, I would love for you to read or listen to, because it's narrated by Chef AJ, which I want you to check out her channel too. Chef AJ is at Chef AJ Live. She literally will have something about SOS free living on her channel 7 days a week. She literally puts something up every single day. So if you want to learn about this lifestyle, check out Chef AJ. But Chef AJ was the narrator for The Pleasure Trap on Dr. Doug Lisle and Alan Goldhammer's Dr. Alan Goldhammer's book, The Pleasure Trap. So I would love for you to listen or read that book. I'd also like for you to check out Nutrition Facts with Dr. Greger. Greger spelled Greger. Greger. And Dr. Greger is all about research. He has a huge team of researchers verifying that everything we're doing is in the right track, and that is the most optimally healthy solution for us. If the studies came in tomorrow that meat was healthier for us, I assure you Dr. Greger would tell us. It's whatever is optimally healthier for us. If you're interested in a better life, if you're interested in longevity, and if you're interested in truly living your best healthy self. I want to talk just lastly and briefly about mindset. Again, this is your path and your path only, so take it for what it is. Please meet people where they're at. I know at times it will be challenging, because you're going to be so pumped and so excited that you just want to tell the world about this, and the world is not quite ready for it at this point. It doesn't mean they will not be ready for it tomorrow. Remember, it took you this long to get here. I'm also going to ask you to silence the noise for 30 days. There are going to be people that unconsciously may be sabotaging your experience, or maybe even putting it down. Know they're not doing it intentionally. Know that they're legitimately concerned, but they're not doing the research, they're not doing the homework, and they're not taking in the information that you are. Know that you're doing the work. Stay on the path. This is like a hiking trail for me. I'm always excited when I'm hiking to see what's around the bend. Always wait to see what's around the bend, because something new and exciting is coming. There's also only two types of people that approach this. We're only two types. There's the type that hears the information, takes the information, does the research, and just dives in head first. And there's the type that may just tip their toe in the water. Know that this is really hard to do if you only tip your toe in the water. It's really hard to do if you only remove sugar and you leave the salt in. If you only remove salt and you leave the sugar and the oils in. It's really much more challenging to do, but if it's the only thing you can do, I'd rather you do something than nothing. Maybe you start the 30 days by just removing one thing. Maybe you start cutting back on certain things. Just start doing something. I highly recommend that you do something, but I also highly recommend you just go all in if you can. Let's see. No matter who you are, I still recommend that you start cleaning your palate as soon as possible from SOS, sugar, oil, and salt. In the process, ask me as many questions. I can't say that enough. Next Sunday's episode will be dedicating, next Sunday's episode will be dedicated to going over questions you may have. So any questions that you send me throughout the week, that following Sunday, that episode, I'm just going to answer any and all the questions. I'll address everything you have. On an upcoming episode, on the Sunday after March 22nd, I have Dr. Goldhammer's going to be on the show. So I want you to just bring on the questions. We're going to answer everything that you come up with and get you clarity within the challenge. And I'm super excited about that. I probably should have started with that. Lastly, I will say, if you haven't done so yet, please hit us with a subscribe. I want you to be aware of everything that we're doing and everything that we're doing after the challenge starts on April 1st. But there's going to be a lot of preparation to get to the challenge, and I want you to be updated on that. Hit us with a like. Hit the little ring bell so we can be sending you notifications when anything is new, and you can just go right into it. And I'm going to leave you with today's special message now, and I'm going to again read this verbatim because I don't want to leave a single word out. We are better equipped to make a difference in the world when we care and love ourselves first. So with that being said, I want you to give that a little bit of thought, sit with that, and I want you to take good care of yourself, but take care of yourself first. Bye.